The galaxy was once a vast expanse, dominated by powerful and ancient civilizations that had conquered countless worlds. Races of beings far older and technologically advanced than humanity had ruled the cosmos for millennia, their peace maintained through dominance and fear. These races had battled other species, obliterating civilizations, claiming territories, and ensuring that their power remained unquestioned. Yet, despite their superiority, one thing had remained constant: the fear they inspired in lesser species. The galaxy's hierarchy was unchallenged, with the alien species sitting comfortably at the top. Humanity, meanwhile, was viewed as insignificant. A primitive species confined to a single, relatively insignificant planet, Earth. For centuries, humans had been consumed with their own petty conflicts, fighting among themselves in wars that seemed endless. No one outside their world took them seriously. Their technology was primitive compared to the vast empires that ruled the galaxy, and their political systems were chaotic at best. They were confined to their world, left to squabble while the rest of the galaxy continued to evolve and grow. The alien empires did not see the need to intervene. Humanity was not a threat, and their wars were seen as irrelevant. The alien races had never considered the possibility that this species, so young and frail, could pose any real challenge. There were no signs of advanced technology on Earth, and no hint of any capacity for interstellar travel. To the galactic powers, humanity was simply another insignificant life form, struggling in its own sphere of existence. Despite this perception, humanity had continued to evolve, advancing slowly but steadily. They developed tools, built cities, and eventually harnessed the power of the atom. Yet, no matter how much they progressed, they were still considered nothing more than a speck in the vastness of the universe. Their technology remained behind the times, their military forces were rudimentary, and they were easily dismissed by the galactic powers. They had no allies, no standing, and no real voice in the galactic community. However, peace was not as secure as the alien empires believed. Beneath the surface of human civilization, there was a growing movement, a shift in thinking that began to stir the hearts of those who had long been ignored. And at the center of this change was one man, General Marcus Steele. Steele was unlike any other human who had come before him. A military strategist of unparalleled brilliance, his name had already become legendary among human forces. His rise was not quick, but it was undeniable. Steele's leadership during the global wars had earned him respect. He was calm under pressure, analytical in his approach, and unyielding in his determination. His understanding of military tactics was rivaled only by the greatest generals in history, and his ability to predict his enemy's movements was uncanny. As humanity fought for survival, Steele emerged as the figure who could unite fractured factions, not only on Earth but beyond. He was a man with a vision, one that went far beyond the petty conflicts of his planet. Steele was determined to elevate humanity from the depths of obscurity to a place of power. His resolve to lead his people to greatness was unshakable. In the eyes of the alien civilizations, however, Steele was nothing more than a soldier, a mere pawn in the grand scheme of galactic affairs. They saw him as a curiosity, a human who had managed to gain some measure of respect among his people. But they dismissed him as a temporary leader, one whose influence would soon fade. They believed that humanity would continue to be confined to their planet, squabbling and struggling, irrelevant to the broader picture. Yet, Steele's vision was not one of mere survival. He sought to place humanity on the map of the galaxy, to make them a force to be reckoned with. This ambition drove him to take risks that no one else had dared to take. His strategic genius, combined with an unyielding will to succeed, would change the galaxy forever. Steele's actions began to stir the winds of change. When humanity faced challenges from alien invaders, he refused to back down. He believed that humans, with the right leadership, could overcome any obstacle, even if they had to fight their way through the most advanced empires in the galaxy. His message was clear: humanity would no longer be a passive observer in the grand conflict of the cosmos. They would take their place as equals. In his first major victory, Steele's forces managed to repel an alien invasion. Against all odds, they had won. The aliens were left stunned and confused. For the first time, They had faced a force they had not anticipated, a force that had refused to be cowed into submission. Steele's victory spread across the galaxy, and whispers of his name reached the ears of those in power. The alien civilizations, once at peace and secure in their dominance, began to feel a shift. Steele's tactics were unlike anything they had seen before. He employed guerrilla warfare, exploiting the weaknesses in their technology, and using the terrain to his advantage. His forces fought with an unrelenting ferocity that had never been associated with humanity before. The aliens, who had once dismissed humans as weak and unworthy of consideration, now found themselves questioning that belief. Humanity had done the unthinkable. They had struck back. The aliens tried to dismiss the implications of Steele's victory, chalking it up to luck or mere coincidence. But Steele's growing influence and continued victories made it impossible to ignore. The alien leaders began to take notice. The notion that humanity might actually pose a threat began to take root. What had once seemed impossible, humanity becoming a force to be reckoned with, was now becoming a reality. Steele's declaration of war against the alien powers shocked the galaxy. It was a bold move, one that no one had expected. But it was clear, humanity was no longer willing to remain in the shadows. They had tasted victory, and now they sought more. The aliens, who had once feared no one, now had to contend with the reality that the human species was no longer a mere footnote in galactic history. Humanity had declared their intent, and there was no going back. General Marcus Steele was not a man of many words, but his actions spoke volumes. His reputation as a tactician grew quickly after his remarkable success in Earth's most recent global conflicts. Steele was not just a soldier, he was a master strategist who could see beyond the battlefield, predicting movements and countering enemy forces with uncanny precision. Unlike other military leaders, he didn't focus solely on the weapons or technology at his disposal. His strength lay in his ability to understand human behavior and exploit weaknesses. He knew how to win battles with both brains and brawn. Born in the heart of Earth's most war-torn regions, Steele had grown up surrounded by chaos and violence. From an early age, he displayed an innate ability to grasp complex military strategies. While others saw war as a series of random events, Steele saw it as a series of patterns to be decoded. His rise through the ranks was not a result of political maneuvering or inheritance, but a direct reflection of his unyielding commitment to mastering the art of war. He earned the respect of his fellow soldiers and officers, not by charm or charisma, but through sheer competence and determination. When he finally rose to the rank of general, Steele was faced with a planet divided by conflicts, nations at war, ideologies clashing, and resources dwindling. He saw the global situation not as a challenge, but as an opportunity to unify the human race under a single banner. His vision wasn't just about survival, it was about ensuring that humanity would not be at the mercy of the galactic powers that had long dismissed them. His call for unity resonated with millions, and soon, his influence spread beyond Earth's borders, igniting a wave of fervor among the human colonies. Despite his growing influence, Steele never relied solely on the loyalty of his people. He understood that trust had to be earned, especially in the military. His troops, unlike many others, knew they could rely on their general in even the most dire situations. Steele was known for his calm under pressure. Where others would panic, he remained focused, calculating every move before taking action. His ability to adapt was unmatched, and he was always 5 steps ahead of the enemy. This made him not only a respected leader but also a feared one. Steele's leadership didn't just consist of giving orders from a distance. He led from the front, always in the thick of the action. Whether in the midst of battle or planning a strategic offensive, Steele was hands-on. He was present at every crucial decision, always assessing the battlefield, always considering new angles. His troops knew that if they followed Steele, they would emerge victorious, even against overwhelming odds. His presence was enough to turn the tide in a fight, a beacon of hope when all seemed lost. One of his first major operations against an alien force was nothing short of brilliant. The invaders were part of a much larger galactic empire, technologically superior to anything humanity had at that point. Yet, Steele's strategy took the invaders by surprise. He didn't attempt to match them head-on in a war of attrition. Instead, he used their overconfidence against them. The alien forces, believing humanity to be weak and divided, were caught off guard by Steele's guerrilla tactics. His forces struck swiftly, attacking supply lines and using the planet's natural terrain to their advantage. What should have been a devastating defeat for humanity turned into a stunning victory. This victory was more than just a military achievement. It was a message. Steele's forces proved that they could outthink and outmaneuver an enemy that was far superior in technology and numbers. His success against the aliens was the spark that ignited the fire of human defiance across the galaxy. Steele's reputation spread like wildfire. The alien races, who had long considered humanity insignificant, were forced to reconsider their position. A human general had bested one of their most formidable adversaries, and they realized that humanity was no longer the easy prey they had once thought. It wasn't just Steele's tactics that set him apart from others. He also understood the value of psychological warfare. He knew that in order to defeat an enemy, you had to break their spirit as much as their forces. Steele was a master of sowing doubt and confusion among his enemies. He would feed them false information, creating rifts within their ranks, causing them to turn on one another. By the time the alien forces realized what had happened, they were already in disarray. Steele's ability to manipulate not just the battlefield, but the minds of his enemies, became his signature strategy. This combination of tactical brilliance and psychological mastery made Steele a force to be reckoned with. His name became synonymous with fear, not because of his own power, but because of his ability to turn even the most hopeless situations in humanity's favor. To the aliens, Steele was not just a general. He was an enigma, an unpredictable variable in a galaxy that had been accustomed to order and control. And this unpredictability was something they could not afford to ignore. As Steele's victories mounted, so did the perception of humanity's potential. What was once dismissed as a fluke was now undeniable proof of human resilience. Steele was no longer seen as a rogue general or an isolated anomaly. He was the symbol of a new era for humanity. Under his leadership, humans were proving that they were capable of not only surviving but thriving in the face of overwhelming opposition. His rise to power marked the beginning of a shift in the balance of power across the galaxy. But Steele's rise wasn't without its challenges. As he gained more influence, the alien factions began to unite in their desire to eliminate this threat. They underestimated the human spirit, assuming that their technology and experience would easily crush Steele and his forces. Yet every attempt to break humanity's resolve only strengthened it. The more they tried to stamp out the flame of rebellion, the more it spread. Steele's leadership was like a rallying cry to all those who had been oppressed by the alien powers. Humanity was no longer a passive bystander in the grand scheme of galactic politics. They were a player, and they were ready for war. Steele knew that his actions were about to spark something much larger than a simple military campaign. It was a revolution. Humanity was no longer content with being subjugated. They had tasted victory, and they wanted more. Under Steele's leadership, the human race was about to become a force that the galaxy would never forget. And when he made his declaration to the alien powers, it was clear that humanity was no longer asking for a place in the galaxy. They were demanding it.